is the Border Security Caucus co-chair, Texas Congressman Brian Babin. Thank you so much for joining us so early this morning. We appreciate it.
Great to be with you, Heather.
So what are the chances that the House can come to some sort of agreement?
Well, I can just tell you that I don't plan to vote on this, to vote for it, rather, because it's really not going to do anything to stem the tide and the huge, overwhelming numbers that are coming across the border. Basically, I think it's going to, the money that'll be used here is not for enforcement, it's not for barriers, it's not for extra beds, for detentions. It's going to just facilitate quicker releases, and I don't think it's going to do anything to disincentivize illegals from coming across in the numbers that we've already seen, 144,000 just last month alone. And we've got to do something to stem the tide of these people that are just crashing across the border and overwhelming our system.
Yeah.
And, you know, the chances of this thing being really taken care of after what I heard the House Speaker, Ms. Pelosi, say yesterday about interior enforcement, what's the point? Hard to even imagine.
Actually, we have that. We have that sound for everyone at home, and we can bring that up so people know what you're talking about. Listen.
But in terms of interior enforcement, what is the what's the point? I won't even go into what the motivation might be for that.
What is she trying to say there?
Obviously, she's saying that she wants open borders. That's the only thing I can figure. It's hard to even imagine the Speaker of the House of Representatives would say, what's the point of interior enforcement? Because if we don't have interior enforcement, the chances of the Congress getting together, closing loopholes, and disincentivizing the folks from coming across, if we can't deport people who have already had their cases adjudicated and already have orders to be removed, who in the world can you deport?
Yeah, I mean, it's out of control. I actually had sent out some information last night of an incident that happened in Washington State where an illegal immigrant had raped an individual twice, and then in his appearance before the judge pled guilty, was released by that judge in his sanctuary city, and then went back. The judge said, okay, I'm going to release you, go back to Mexico. And then he got out of court and went and attacked the woman again, and now he's missing because there was no communication between ICE and local authorities there.
That's exactly right, and we found some of the numbers of some of these caravans that are heading north into the United States out through Mexico. Up to 25% of some of these people already have criminal histories in the United States, which means that they've been deported or they've returned voluntarily and now they're coming back or they're re-entering illegally. It's just incredible that we have elected officials that say, what's the point of interior enforcement, and deny that there's a problem at the border, which is overwhelming and endangering the American citizens, overwhelming our schools, our hospitals, our law enforcement, and the humanitarian crisis about communicable diseases. It is amazing that we've got over 4,000 people down there quarantined right now. I'm a healthcare practitioner. I'm a dentist, and I can tell you that is a big problem.
Here's the thing, though, and I will tell you what others are saying. They will point to the time when Republicans controlled both the Senate and the House, and Republicans couldn't get anything done. And now we have Democrats in charge of the House. Democrats can't get anything done. Everybody's saying that it's a crisis and something needs to be done about the living conditions, about stopping these numbers coming over the border. But yet here we are again.
I could not agree with you more. I'm in my third term, and I have one of the biggest promises that I made, and the biggest problem that I see facing our nation today is this border crisis. I think it's going to. We're in danger of losing control of our borders. We already have. It's in danger of collapsing not only the security system at our border, but for our entire country. You know, I'm from Texas, and I'm the Border Security Co-Chairman Caucus. And I can tell you that if we don't get a handle on the numbers coming across, our nation is in grave danger. And there is no excuse for us not to have passed this when we had all the cards in our table, in our hand, the previous 2 years. It's not for lack of trying on my part and on many of my colleagues' part. Just lack of will on you know, in the U.S.